Good evening, and welcome to another unintentional episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now, here's your unpurposeful and unwitting host, Voice of Doom. Hello. I'm going to do a quick diatribe that's not really planned out too well. Just random thoughts and, um, chain of causality and just a few things I saw on the news today, and I'll comment. It's the usual subjects, and it's lucky, we're very lucky that problems happen kind of one at a time. It'd be horrible if we had a whole bunch of things going on at once. Because we had the pandemic, which caused an uproar, and it ended just in time for this other problem to come up, which is inflation and gas prices caused by Vlad the Mad. And I think Petrie's very happy that Vlad did what he did, because now everything under the sun can be blamed on him, no matter how far-fetched. Not to defend the madman, but to say he's going to make a good scapegoat for everything. So I'm sure that Petrie wants to keep him around as long as possible. So I was having insomnia. I probably didn't get any sleep at all last night. And in the morning, I usually leave the computer on or watch it if I'm not sleepy, and NATO head cheese or whatever, Brussels sprout, Jens Stoltenberg, I believe his name is, and he looks like a Jens Stoltenberg. Came right out of the box lying, basically, or at least saying the words you're putting together aren't exactly true. And I'm not defending the madman, but I will defend Tulsi Gabbard, because I believe her more than anybody else right now. And she is not the final word on what's happening with bioweapons and biochemical labs. But she just makes a point that there's gain of function going on in Ukraine, and it stands to reason that there would be. Why wouldn't there be? I mean, there's virology labs everywhere in the world. Why wouldn't there be any in Ukraine? And when the madman uses an excuse of bioweapons or chemical weapons, you can use words any way you want, but he's basically doing the same thing that we did with Saddam by saying he's a weapon of mass destruction. He was the weapon. Whether he had weapons or not, I don't know. Maybe they'll find them later. But it was a pretext for us to bomb the hell out of him and get him out of there eventually. Weapons of mass destruction. It turned out that it may or may not be true. I tend to believe that his existence there was the weapon, but so Madman does the same thing. Says there's chemical warfare going on over there. And then the idiots in the media say, now he's going to use that as a pretext and just use chemical weapons and say they did it. And it's kind of like, okay, so anybody that says that Ukraine has any biolabs is a traitor, according to the idiot mainstream numbskulls. So Tulsi, who's the only person I can really trust, says, well, there's biolabs making, viruses. So if it gets bombed, it could disperse viruses. She's just talking about public safety, as if Ukraine, But it's bad enough they're getting blown up all over the place. It'll be even worse if they manage to drop a bomb on some sort of a lab that disperses some stupid-ass virus. Stands to reason that everybody's right and everybody's wrong, but don't say you're a traitor No, there's no chemical labs. There's no chemical weapon labs. Okay, there's no chemical weapon labs. There's something with something that you can put in the air. You bomb it, it disperses. The dust spreads out. Gets caught in the wind. Who knows what it is? Anthrax. It could be anything. There's COVID. It could be anthrax. It could be Nipah. It could be bubonic plague for all the hell we know. And I'm not saying Ukraine is a diabolical, fiendish, country that are concocting stuff. They do gain a function. And we just want to stick our heads right in the sand. And our heads will be in the sand. So I wanted to think of a theme. And my theme is accidents, mishaps, unwitting, unintentional, something could happen. Now today, Pakistan kind of dropped a bomb on a missile on India by mistake. And so I guess they scampered over there to say, no, it was an accident, sorry. But, these accidents happen. And one day there's going to be an accident. There's going to be a miscue of misinformation, of disinformation that causes a conflagration. So, Armageddon by accident. How many ways could it happen? Well, how many possibilities are there? How many atoms make up a star system? I mean, there's so many ways that it could happen by accident. Japan right now is getting belligerent. They're wanting territory that Russia is in control of, and so they're starting to get in Russia's face now. And Japan is kind of worried about what might happen in the South China Sea and those environs, and so is Australia. And anybody could bomb anybody, any plane could stray anywhere, anything could happen, all kinds of mishaps could happen. And it could lead to a worldwide conflagration. And I'm hoping that the Ukraine business will be over before the next thing comes along, because I think we can only handle one problem at the same time. Or we can have 2 or 3 problems at once as long as they all tie in together. That inflation and the gas prices are all Mad's fault. And so we can blame him for everything, and to say anything about complaining about gas prices, you are a traitor. It's coming up a lot more lately. And it's because my generation is in charge. And we're not too bright. I'm sorry. Go straight to traitor, If you're a traitor, hang the frickin' guy. It's just bandy words about, and they're all idiots anyway, but accidents will happen. How else could it happen? Well, who knows what's out there, and who knows what might get bombed. I mean, they're, shutting down nuclear power plants, or, they're doing whatever, laying siege on places. They could be sending all kinds of things up into the air. Who knows what? It's really good for climate change. But I believe all the liberals are on board with war. Yes, it's bad to see people getting killed, and it's an atrocity. But I don't know if you call it a war, because the way I see it, a war means if we're at war, we're going to try to beat each other. You don't say, you can try to take over and bomb the hell out of my country, but I'm not going to do anything to your country because you're too powerful, so I'll just take the beating. No. In Germany, we decimated the country in the long run. Germany was really in good shape in 1940 during the Blitzkrieg, and they had everything going toward what Schicklgruber wanted. But when we decided that we weren't going to allow that, we didn't just say we're going to push Germany back to their borders and just call it a day. You can keep your regime going. No, it was, we're going to destroy every last trace of your existence. And that's what they did. And that was the last of the great generation. They're all in their mid to late 90s now, and once they're all gone, we have nobody really great left. It's kind of a shame. But other accidents, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be an accident, but it could be just a mishap. It could be a bomb going off in some city in the U.S. used to be A. It could be snuck in over the border. There's many accidents. There's accidental overdoses. But, to say everything's going to be intentional, and, that's another thing I find annoying about people, is if it's unthinkable, then it can't happen. And I think people better start thinking that even if it's unthinkable, it might happen. Well, we just can't have that because it'll be mutually assured destruction, and we don't want to. Nobody on Earth wants to blow up the planet. Except maybe, who knows, there might be fanatics out there. And then one thing leads to another, and then the mutually assured becomes mutually assured, except the people that were the fanatics maybe, covered their bases, had a fallout shelter deep, deep, deep within the bowels of the earth, which is where they belong. But who knows what nefarious schemes, and who knows if things could go off by accident. It's a very complicated world. It's being run by idiots. I mean, we can do all kinds of things with superconductors and micro electronics. It's amazing what we can do. I don't know how we do it because we're stupid. Yet those phones and these computers are amazing what they can do. Through the air, sending movies and sending data and sending images and sending whatever. All kinds of crap. So somebody's smart out there, but they don't seem to be helping with these problems. And Petrie's stooping to propaganda, a la Jay Goebbels, getting the youngsters on board. What do you call them? The Petrie youth, I guess you call them the Petrie youth, and they can carry their flags and do calisthenics and show the rest of the world how superior they are. They are bestowing the word of Petrie. On TikTok, a Chinese-owned propaganda platform. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Nobody knows anything. And I don't know anything. I was just talking about accidental Armageddon, and I just fit in this thing. It's kind of a interim thing. I just got mad when they were lambasting Tulsi because I think she's telling the truth. I trust her more than the others because she doesn't have a dog in the fight. And she has integrity because she's going way against her political party. Way out there. Way. So she's kind of in her own personal world. I don't know what she's going to do. I'd vote for her for president in a minute. Even over Orangey. Tell you the truth. But there won't be an election, so we don't have to worry about such things. So that's it. There's many other ways that we can accidentally bring everybody down, kill everybody on the planet, except the people that planned ahead. And we'll talk about it later as those things occur to me. And have a pleasant night and enjoy what's left of time.